Welcome back to the VDC space, guys. Today we're going to be modeling a bridge pier in Revit using an adaptive family template. So I got a recommendation from one of my viewers on how to model this type of bridge pier. So we're going to use an adaptive component. I think it's much convenient that way, especially when it comes to this curving when it comes to this curve on the pier head. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you are new, if you already subscribed, hit the notification button because I upload BIM modeling tutorials and Revit tutorials 3 times every week. As you can see on my playlist, I cover different topics from wastewater architecture, bridges, roads, and so on. So without further ado, let's start with our project. So the first thing is you're just going to open up the construction template for your project. We're just going to load our project in. And obviously, like I said, you're going to go to File, New, and say Family. And then we're going to go with Metric, Generic, Model, Adaptive, and say Open. So here we are on the adaptive family template. As you can see, we have the 3D view. And then the first thing is you're going to go to the reference level. So the reference level, think of it as a floor plan, and that's where we are going to generate our profiles. So we're going to start with the pier shaft. So in order for us to model our pier shaft, I'm just going to establish my reference planes. So I'm going to place one on this side and then another one on this side, another one on this side, and then another one on this side like this. And then this one I'm going to offset it by 1000 millimeters, and also this one I'm going to offset it by 1000 millimeters. This one I'm going to offset it by sorry, so it's going to be 750, and then this one is going to be 750. So the second thing I'm gonna do is obviously I'm gonna model I'm going to establish my form or use an extrusion. So in order for us to do that, you're going to go with model and say lines. And then I'm going to use this as my insertion point. So I'm going to take it to the left by 250 millimeters. While I'm at it, I'm going to go with start and radius arc. And then I'm going to take it diagonally towards this point. And then I'm going to place it like this at 750 millimeter radius. And then I'm gonna take it towards this point again. As you can see, you will feel it on your mouse. It's gonna snap towards this point, and then you're gonna place it like that. And then you're gonna select your straight line again, and then place it right at this point. So you're gonna select these lines, go to mirror pick axis, and then pick this middle reference plane, and then it's gonna be mirrored towards the other side. Go to the 3D view, and this is basically what we have. So you're gonna see, you're gonna go to the front elevation. So on your front elevation, we're gonna establish our heights. So in order for us to do that, you're gonna go with reference plane. You're gonna place it right across like this, and then another one you're gonna place it like that, and then you're gonna place the third one like this, and then the last one like that. So the first one, the height of your pier shaft is gonna vary in heights, so obviously we're gonna apply a parameter towards that. But first thing, I'm just gonna keep it at 6000 millimeters, and then this one I'm gonna offset it by 2800, and then this one by 1000, and then this one by 300 millimeters. Perfect. So let's just apply dimensions towards these. So this one is going to be 1000, and then this one is going to be 300 millimeters. So let me just reduce the scale. So it's going to be 1:50. Perfect. Now I'm going to go back to the 3D view. Select these lines that we did for the pier shaft, and then you're going to go back to the front elevation, and then you're going to say copy. Make sure you uncheck this constraint, and then you're going to copy from this point towards this point, towards that reference plane. So if you go back to the front elevation, you're going to select this reference plane, name it end of pier shaft, enter. And then this one, right before the second last one, you're going to rename it pier pier head and press enter. Perfect. Now you're gonna go back to the 3D view and then select these two profiles and say create form, and then it's gonna create your form like this. Change this to fine, this to shaded, and this is what we have so far. Now the next thing is you're gonna go back to the reference level, and then you're gonna say model line, and then you're gonna set your reference plane to end of pier shaft and say okay, and then you're gonna say pick lines, and then you're gonna pick these lines. When you open up the 3D view, so last one that's left is this one. So this is basically your profile. And now the next thing is you're gonna go back to the reference level. So on your reference level, actually go back to the front elevation, and then you're gonna select your section. You're gonna place your section like this, select rotate, and then you're gonna rotate your section like this at 90 degrees, and then you're gonna drag it upwards towards this top, and then you're gonna press AL or to align it, and then you're gonna press this reference plane, and then you're gonna align the section towards that reference plane. So you're gonna drag your section like that, and then you're gonna open up that section. Now from this point we're gonna model the top of our pier head. So in order for us to do that, we're gonna go with our lines again. So but before we establish our lines, just go to reference plane. You're gonna place two references, one on each side. This one you're gonna offset it by 900 millimeters, and then you're gonna copy another one further to the left by 850, and then you're gonna select the two of them, mirror pick axis, mirror them towards the other side. Let's just remove this one, and then you're gonna place other ones running across like this. So this one you're gonna offset it by, so it's gonna be 1700 divided by 2, which is 850, and then you're gonna mirror it towards the other side. Perfect. So we're basically gonna use these ones. Let me just show you so that you don't get confused, and then we're gonna use these ones. Perfect. Now you're gonna go with the line, and then you're gonna set your reference plane to pier head and say okay, and then you're gonna select your line. From this point you're gonna take it to the left by 900 millimeters, start and radius arc again, and then you're gonna take it towards this point diagonally, and then you're gonna place it at the radius of 850, and then again towards this point at the radius of 850. Press your straight line again, and then place it towards this point. Select these lines, mirror pick axis, and then mirror them towards the other side. Open up the 3D view, and this is what we have. Now you're gonna select these two profiles and say create form, and then it's gonna create your form like this. Obviously we don't have that curvature on the sides. In order for us to establish that, we're gonna go to the front elevation. So in order for us to conform towards the curving of that side of that part of the pier, we're gonna have to, let's just start with our reference line. So I'm going to set my reference to reference plane, center, front, and back, and say OK. And then I'm going to select my start and radius arc. I'm going to start from this insertion point and then towards this insertion point. And then you're going to press 10,000 millimeters in order for you to set your radius. And then it's going to be set like that. Set this to fine, and then this to wireframe. And this is what we have. You're going to select it, mirror it towards the other side, and then it's going to be set like that. Now you can use that as your reference. So in order for you to establish the curving, in order for you to make this form or extrusion curve, you're going to select it all together, and then you're going to scroll to the right. As you can see, under form elements we have this option. You're going to go with add profile. So when you hover over your extrusion or your form, you will see that there will be gray lines that will be highlighted, which indicate where you will place your other profile. So you're going to randomly place it like that, and then press tab, select it, go to the front elevation. Now the trick here is you're going to do trial and error. When you move it downwards or upwards, you will see that the form of your extrusion or your mass will change. So in this instance, I think it works uh, when we align it upwards, when we drag it upwards. As you can see, it conforms to what's that curve that we established with our reference lines. So I'm going to set it like that until it matches or it sets on top of our reference lines that we set. So it's going to be set like that. Now I'm going to open up the 3D view, and this is basically what we have. Perfect. Now another thing that is left, that's the most complicated part of in terms of this tutorial. So we managed to solve that. So the next thing is we're going to have to model our pier head. So it's going to be easy for that one. You're going to go to model and say set your element, set your work plane, and then you're going to select the top of your pier head and say pick lines, and then you're going to pick this entire parameter, and then you're going to select those lines and say create form, and then it's going to create another form. Go to the front elevation, you're going to drag it downwards towards this point, and this is what we have. Another thing is we're going to have to make this family intelligent. Basically, we are done with our family now. Now we have to make it intelligent by applying parameters when it comes to this. So in order for us to do that, I'm going to go to the front elevation, press AL or align. So remember, when it comes to the basis of parameters and in terms of adjusting the parameters of your forms, you have to align it towards the reference planes. So I'm going to press AL for align, and then press my reference plane first and then my form second, align it. Do the same thing for other ones, and then for this one I'm going to do it 2 times. I'm going to align the forms against each other and then the forms against the reference planes. So I'm going to do the same thing for these ones, and then these ones. Perfect. Go to the 3D view, and this is what we have. Go to the front elevation. I'm going to select this one. Under labels, I'm going to say new parameter, and then I'm going to name this one pier shaft. I'm going to say OK and then lock it. And then this one, I'm going to remove these two, and then I'm going to join these as one, make it 3.8. And then I'm going to name this one pier head 1. And then I'm going to make it an instance parameter so that when I adjust the length of my pier shaft, which varies in height, our pier head is going to move along when we adjust the height of our pier shaft. So I'm going to say OK, and then I'm going to lock it. And then I'm going to name this one pier head 2, make it an instance parameter and say OK, and then I'm going to lock it. Go to the 3D view. Let's test these parameters. So I'm going to go to our properties. I'm going to change this pier shaft from 6,000 to 8,000 millimeters. And as you can see, it adjusted. Say OK, and then go to my properties again. I'm going to change my pier head 2 to 400 millimeters. Apply, and then it changed. My pier head 1 to 4,000 millimeters. Apply, and say OK. So it didn't move, which means I have to set my constraints again. So I'm going to say undo. So for my pier head 1, I'm going to say align again, select my reference plane, select the top of my form, and then lock it, and then I'm going to test it again. From 3.8, I'm going to change it to 4.5 and say apply. Now it changes. So I'm going to say OK, and then let me just say undo. So I'm going to go back to my front elevation and then go to my dimensions, go to radial, and then I'm going to apply my parameters when it comes to my curves. So I'm going to select this one, create new parameter, and then I'm going to name this one radius. Say okay, lock it, and then I'm going to apply the same parameter towards the left hand side. So the same one, radius. And now this is what we have. So if I go to my properties, I'm going to change this from 3.8 to 4000 millimeters and say apply, and then it's going to change. Then let me just say undo. Perfect. Now obviously the last thing you have to do when it comes to these is apply material to these. So I'm going to select all my forms, go to my material, and then I'm going to change it and then type in concrete. So I'm gonna go with concrete cast in situ, load it in, apply, and then okay. Change this to realistic, and this is what we have. So for our bonus, I'm gonna place a base on the bottom of my pier or of my bridge pier. So I'm gonna go to reference level again. And then for my base, I'm gonna go to create and say model. I'm gonna set my reference plane to reference level and say okay, and then select my rectangle, place a random rectangle like this. Tab, I'm going to select my side, so I'm going to start with my width and then my length. So for this one, I'm going to make it 2500. So in total, it's going to be 5000 millimeters. And then this one, I'm going to make it 1.5. So in total, it's going to be 3000 millimeters. So I'm going to go back to the 3D view, select my line, create a form, and then I'm going to hover over down and then drag it downwards, and then hover over to the top of my base, and then I'm going to drag it downwards until it's on the bottom of my pier shaft, and then I'm going to lock it, and then I'm going to press AL for align again, and then I'm going to lock my base against the bottom of my pier shaft and say lock again. Now, obviously, in order for me to make it intelligent, let me just press VR and then set these to unlimited, apply, okay. I'm going to have to apply parameters to this. So I'm going to start with my width and then my length. So remember the basis of families, in order for you to modify them, you have to also, the basis of symmetrical families is you have to apply two set of dimensions. So the first one is the overall, and then another one is the half of that overall. But for this one, you're gonna have to uncheck this equal symbol. So you're gonna check it like this, so that when you modify this dimension, it's gonna move simultaneously on both sides. So you're gonna do the same thing on this side, and then you're gonna set it to equal, and then you're gonna select this one, new parameter, and then I'm gonna name this one base length. Okay, and then you're gonna log it, and then this one you're gonna say base width. Okay, and then you're gonna log it. Go to the front elevation. You're gonna place another one on top, like on the front elevation like this, and then you're gonna set this one to base height and say okay, and then you're gonna lock it. Go to the 3D view, and this is what we have. So I'm gonna apply material to this. I'm gonna make it concrete cast in situ, and this is what we have. So let me just go to my properties, and for my base height, I'm gonna set it to 1.5, apply, and then it's gonna change like that. My base length, I'm gonna set it to 4000 millimeters, apply, and then it's gonna change like that. My base width, I'm gonna set it to 8000 millimeters, apply, and then it's gonna change like that and say okay. So that's it. That's our intelligent bridge pier. I hope it answers your question. The guy that recommended I should model this. So I'm gonna load it into my project, and I'm gonna place it like that, open up the 3D view, and this is what we have. So I'm gonna select it. As you can see, the parameters are set to instant. They're gonna appear under dimensions, so you can adjust this from 4000 to 3.5 maybe, let's see, and then it's gonna change like that. Or you're gonna say, or you can set it to 5000 millimeters, and then it's going to change like that. But I'm just going to leave it at 3.8 because it is set at 3.8. The only thing that varies is the pier shaft, which start from this point towards this point. So you're going to select it and then go to edit type. So the pier shaft, we can change it to 8000 millimeters, apply, and then the curve on this will never change, even though the height of your pier shaft changes or varies. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I certainly did, and I hope it answers your question. If you guys have a recommendation, comment under my tutorials. I will try to attend to those questions, or you can email me on my website. I always read your emails on my website. So if you have any questions, guys, you can just post them on the comments, or you can just email me on my website. So yeah, that's the basis of adaptive components, how versatile they are. You certainly have to know them if you want to be competent in terms of bridge modeling when it comes to Revit. I attended the interview one time. They asked me how I would model a certain bridge or box girder using an adaptive component. So you certainly have to know them. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure that you sign up for my Patreon, because this is where I upload my files and videos. You'll get both my videos and also my files of my tutorials. And yeah, and I hope I'll see you on the next tutorial. And also make sure you join my membership on my YouTube. You can start with the first one, which is like the cheapest one, and yeah, you will get most of these tutorials but advanced. And yeah, I think it will benefit you on the long run. So thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. Peace.